All right, now we're going to go backwards. This is lesson 1 of chapter 2, percent of a number. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to find the percent of any number. I have a list of fractions and decimals that you should know, so please copy down this chart and memorize what each of these percents turn into as far as decimals and fractions. I will actually be giving a quiz that you cannot use your calculator on with these percents. You got to put them in the chart just like I have here. All right, so when writing a percent as a fraction, such as 20%, you would put the percent over 100 and then simplify. So whatever the percent is, you would put that over 100, simplify. So in this case, I have 20 over 100. I'm going to divide the top and bottom by 20, and I would end up with 1/5. When you write a percent as a decimal, such as 20%, you would divide that percent by 100, or you could just move the decimal place twice to the left. All right, methods to find the percent of a number. Example 1, we are going to, hold on, I've got some hidden things that I almost forgot about. All right, so methods to find the percent of a number. First method, write the percent as a fraction and then multiply. Second method would be to write the percent as a decimal and then multiply. All right, now I'm going to show you each of those methods, and then you choose the one that you like the best. So for example 1, find 8% of 25. We're going to use method 1 where you write the percent as a fraction. So again, we're going to write 8% as a fraction. You're going to put 8, if I can get the pen to work, over 100, and then you would simplify. So we are going to divide by 2. We would get 4 over 50, and divide by 2 again, and you end up with 2 over 25. Now we're going to take 2 over 25, and we are going to multiply that by 25 as a fraction, which is 25 over 1. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to cross cancel. Well, I see 25 and 25. 25 divided by 25 is 1, so they both turn into a 1. From here I multiply across. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 over 1 is 2. So there's the first method. Second method, now we're going to write the percent as a decimal. So if you remember from the last slide, 20% as a decimal, you divide by 20% turned into a decimal, you would divide by 100, or you take that decimal, which would be behind that 0, move it over twice. So 20% as a decimal is 0.2. Now we would take that 0.2 and we're going to multiply it by 75. So I'm going to put the 75 on top. And if you remember from the beginning of the year when we talked about multiplying with decimals, the only thing you need to worry about is how many places are behind that decimal. So in 75 there are no decimals. 0.2 you would have to move it over 1 place, so I'm going to put a 1 next to that. 0 plus 1, we're going to have to move it back in 1 time. All right, now we can just multiply. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 more is 15. And because the next place is 0, we don't have to worry about it. So now we need to move that decimal in 1 place, which would go right there. Your answer would be 15. All right, now we're going to talk about percents that are greater than 100. They can be written as improper fractions, mixed numbers, or decimals that are greater than 1. So the example I have for you is 175%. As a improper fraction, you'd put 175 over 100, and then you would simplify. You're going to divide by 25. You would get 7 over 4. Turning that into a mixed number, you would get 1 3/4 because 4 can go into 7 one time. You have 3 left over. And then as a decimal, it would be 1 75 hundredths. All right, so for example 3, we're going to find 125% of 64. We're going to use method 1, where we are going to write 125 as an improper fraction. So first thing we need to do is put 125 over 100. Simplify. I'm going to divide by 25. You end up with 5 over 4. All right, now I'm going to use 5 over 4, and I'm going to multiply it by 64 as a fraction, which is 64 over 1. 4 and 64 can both be divided by 4. 64 divided by 4 is 16. 4 divided by 4 is 1. From here you would multiply across. 5 times 16 is 80. 1 times 1 is 1. So your answer would be 80. And then example 4, this time they want us to take 210% of 30, and they want us to write the percent as a decimal. So 210%, you take that decimal and you move it over twice. That equals 2.1, because we don't need to write the 0. So we're going to take 2.1 and we're going to multiply it by 30. 2.1, you'd have to move the decimal over one place. For 30, you would not have to move the decimal over because there is none, so that'd be a 0. So when we're done, we're going to have to move it back in one place. 1 times 0 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. New placeholder. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Move that decimal back in one place, and you end up with an answer of 63. All right, for your got it's, I have 3 of them for you. You can choose whichever method you find the easiest for you. So if you want to use fractions, go ahead and turn it into a fraction. If you would rather use percent and multiply, then that's what you should do. All right, tomorrow in class we'll go over these answers and how we got them, and I will answer any questions you have. I'll see you tomorrow.